Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see partly sunny skies. It will be breezy, though, but mild. We'll see a high around 61. Tonight, mainly clear skies and an overnight low around 30. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return. We'll see less wind, too, and an afternoon high around 60. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the enrollment fee. The next challenge begins on March 23rd. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Monday. This is the Happy Hour. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico with you. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's the day?
Great.
Good.
I'm back.
I'm back.
You never left.
Back in the studio.
You've always been on the airwaves, just
been on the studio
in a different way.
Yeah. Back in the studio.
Look, hey, I'm back. What's up, everybody? Okay, but Nick's here.
As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. I apologize if my voice gives out on me after talking a little bit. We have the mint tea, courtesy of the Mill. Shout out to the Mill. Huge. Clutch. Here's the thing, and people don't know this, because I
would like tea.
I used to be embarrassed about drinking tea.
Why?
I don't know. I was 21, 22 drinking tea, and I don't know.
You were like, oh, tea.
Yeah, but like, this is like herbal tea. It's not like I used to be a big like green tea, Lipton type of thing.
Okay.
Last year I found myself drinking like the one with like health benefits and stuff.
Well,
to try to get my voice back.
Because you're looking after yourself.
Thank you, Rico.
Trying to make sure that you're a healthy young man.
Why is your mouth not up to the mic?
Because I'm messing with the cameras, Nick.
So anyway, last year I walked over. Actually, this was during the state tournament. I walked over to the Mill down in the Haymarket, and I was like, I need something that will basically get me my voice back. And they hooked me up. They got me something. I was able to get through the state tournament. We were all good to go. Well, now
Nick
today,
said, help me.
I'm on my third cup of mint eucalyptus tea or something like that.
Eucalyptus?
I need to know the exact name.
What's the only other animal
Delicious.
that eats eucalyptus?
I have no idea.
Koalas.
Okay, there you go.
So that's their entire diet. Eucalyptus
all
leaves.
eucalyptus.
That's all they eat. It's not very
nutritional.
nutritious
Nutritious.
for them. There's not a lot of nutrients in eucalyptus leaves, but that's all they eat.
Well, I'm trying out the mint. So come on down, get yourself some. It's actually very good. It's very delicious. I enjoy the smell.
I don't.
I enjoy the smell of tea. I'm a big sun tea guy.
My wife, shout out to Rachel, loves tea. I not so much.
I'm a big sun tea guy, like where you still put it in the pitcher,
Mhm.
put it outside, let the sun basically make it, and you're good to go. Then you put it in the fridge, and
What?
it gets cold.
You just put the tea outside?
I gotta know if anybody's ever done that.
What are you talking about?
Okay, 402-464-5685.
Sun tea? I thought it was a brand.
It's called sun tea. Like we call it at my house sun tea because you fill like a pitcher full of water.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
normal.
Lipton makes these bags or
The
whatever.
big bags.
Yeah, the big tea bags.
Yeah, the massive ones.
And you put like 2 of those in there.
Okay.
In the pitcher.
Yeah.
And then you just
So far, normal.
you stick the pitcher
Uh-huh.
out where the sun would shine.
That's weird.
And basically
That does nothing.
You leave it out there for 2-3 hours.
What does that do?
This is where
That
we
makes
need
it
to find
hot.
out.
That's all it does.
Well, and maybe it does. I just need to know if this is a thing. Okay, yeah. See, how about this?
that a
Lemonhead says 100% can't wait to do it every summer. I make several gallons a week. The sun works. It's magic. Here's the thing.
What does it do?
You make. I mean, like, it's like every Monday thing in my parents' house where they'll put it out there, and then it's like, all right, wash the tea jar at the end of the week,
Okay.
and then on Monday morning you got to put it out there and bring it in when you get home. I cannot tell you how
I've
many
never
times
heard of this.
back in high school in the summer, or not, it wouldn't necessarily be in school. It'd be after work or whatever. And it worked out perfectly because when I used to intern here,
Yeah.
I was still living with my parents,
You're still a young boy.
and I would go home at like 2:30,
And the sun tea's ready.
and the sun tea would be ready. So they'd be like, "Can you please put
What
it?
is it?
Can you please put it in the fridge?" So then by Tuesday morning, it's ice cold, ready for you to go.
Somebody
But you take the tea
explain-
bags out.
Somebody explain to me what does the sun. So if I take 2 pictures, right? I might do this summer. If I take 2 pictures, I'm not going to drink it, but my wife will. She'll tell me the differences. If I take 2 pictures and I do the same thing, the water, the tea bags, I leave one inside.
Okay.
Let it brew, let it do its thing. I take the other one outside. Is there going to be like a noticeable difference?
I think so. So how about this? We got, let's see. Somebody said it there. We got a lot of text here. The heat from
I'm on the wrong side of this.
the heat from the sunlight gently brews the tea. Great stuff, says 6912. I'm serious.
Apparently,
Sun tea is delicious.
I've never heard of this.
I'll bring you a glass. I cannot
I'm not gonna
wait.
drink. I don't like tea.
Man, it's got great flavor.
I don't like tea.
It's unbelievable. Some Ted says, "Man, this younger generation is lost." I'm
You're
7
younger
years
than me.
7 years younger
Yeah.
than Rico, and I even knew what it was. It's delicious. Put the
All
whole
right.
picture out there.
You
Here's
do
the
you.
thing: nobody steals it because everybody respects sun tea.
Do they?
If
Yeah,
you
are you
drive
gonna have
past
a neighborhood?
house,
Are you gonna have a neighborhood just tea on it?
if I can if I can find neighbors one day when I buy a house, if I can find neighbors that all participate in the sun tea process,
You got to make sure that everybody has it. Is there
Oh,
like there's gonna be like a designated time?
I cannot
That's gonna be
explain to
creepy.
you how much I would smile if I got home from work and everybody's just got sun tea on their
You
porch.
walk outside and Greg across the streets walking outside and goes,
just picking up
"Hey,
the sun
Nick.
tea.
Hey Nick, dropping off the sun tea." You're just like,
that's all
fantastic.
it is. Okay, how about this? Big Bird helps us out. Says
Okay.
sun tea is a thing. Father-in-law puts it in a big gallon jar, absolutely,
Okay.
and sets it in the sun.
Okay.
The flavor is enhanced due to the sun not heating it up so fast and hot. It's like smoking ribs versus microwaving.
Oh.
So then, because
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of hot drinks.
Instead of like boiling the water and then putting the tea in
yeah,
to that,
yeah.
you have the
It's a-
cold water.
it's a
and you
it's a
just
process.
set it out to do its thing.
I mean, but then you also and Big Bird and the rest of the text line, obviously.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't want to leave it out for too long. You don't want to leave it. It's not like a thing where you want to leave. You don't want to leave it out from like 8 a.m. till 6 p.m.
You gotta be careful.
It's only like a 3 or 4 hours max type of thing. I'm sure it's fine, but we were always told like make sure you bring the sun tea in. If you
Sarah-
see the Sun tea,
Sarah on YouTube says Sun Tea is the best.
yeah.
It just tastes the best.
Ted says it depends on how strong you want the tea to taste.
Hey, y'all do
Rico, this is
I've never done it.
It's a bummer that you don't like tea because I would love.
You know what I
to
do in
bring
the
you some.
summer? I make lemonade. That's what I do.
I wonder if you could.
I don't
know.
think it's
not outside.
I don't think so.
No,
because there's no. You don't brew the lemonade. You just there's no lemonade bags to do
that's true.
that.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
I tell you what, is it okay?
Somebody
We're
says
getting closer
somebody
to-
says there's a special place in hell for people who microwave ribs.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Shout out to
That's
Dalton.
That's scary. I tell you what, we're getting closer to summer. You know, the sun's gonna be.
Are you gonna
peeking
try
out
it?
Here. I'm not gonna try it, but I tell you what, and I'm sure everybody agrees with me. A glass of something cold outside with the beads of sweat on the outside of the glass just tastes better.
Yeah, I mean,
it just tastes better.
we-
Like when you grab it and your hand gets wet from you grabbing the glass, it just tastes better.
it is funny because we were talking about this last night. Me and my buddies when we were picking up and getting out of golf. We were talking about we can't wait until we just can sit outside. There's something about just something Nebraskan and Midwest about, hey, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm just going to kind of hang out outside. I'm just going to sit outside.
Just chill.
Do absolutely nothing. Maybe do a couple odd end jobs. Nothing crazy.
No, it's always the best when you just what I love to do in the summer, especially now with the kids, is we have the little kiddie pool.
Kids
right?
are big. Kids are a big part of it.
We have the little kiddie pool. We have our little umbrella, our little shade umbrella, and me and Rachel get our chairs and we set it next to the kiddie pool. We put the umbrella up so the kids don't get burned up or too hot. We put that over the kiddie pool. They're playing, and we just have our feet in the water. And we just sit
That's
there.
what I'm saying. It's
we
simple.
just sit there. We don't do
It's
anything.
simple. The other day, so I had to. So my girlfriend and I got back, and we were like, I was like, well, it's kind of nice out. You want to sit outside? Let's get a couple lawn chairs out. Let's sit outside. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, I'll clean my clubs. She's like, okay. And then we get it. She wasn't all that into it.
She was like, why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And anyway, I get done 15, 20 minutes later. I was like, all right, you ready to go inside? And she's like, well, no, it's kind of peaceful out here.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew it.
See,
I told you.
I told you.
I told you. It's something about sitting outside, especially the first time that you get to sit outside. It's like, man, I miss this.
Yep.
The weather is big for the mood.
And the kids just run around. They have this big old patch of grass behind our house.
Yeah.
Just let the kids run around.
It's basically it's a field.
Yeah. Except for, when it gets too tall. We're like, don't go out there.
I am surprised.
Some little pokies out there.
I am surprised that they haven't started building houses behind your house.
I feel like they're gonna start.
Everything's turning up.
They've
into,
expanded further away from where we are. There were some more
Yeah.
patches. They're building houses out there, but ours so far is untouched.
Everything is let's build more townhouses or apartments.
Honestly, if they do that and I could buy one of those houses, yes, please.
Because you like the area of town.
I love the neighborhood and I love the area of town we're in. We want to stay over there. It's just slightly expensive.
North side,
Shout out to Northwest Lincoln.
more favorable than South side for you.
I've never lived in the south side of Lincoln, so I couldn't tell you.
Ooh, South side's pretty sweet.
Never lived
As
there.
as somebody
All
that's,
of Ellie's friends are in the north side, though.
as somebody that's lived on the north side,
Yeah.
Central Lincoln or East Lincoln,
Yeah.
and now South side.
You a South Lincoln guy?
I'm a South Lincoln guy. I'm not like Raph where I have something against the north side.
Look, I love the south side of Lincoln.
I don't
Shout
know.
out to the Super Target.
Shout out to the Super Target right by my house. That's a block away.
Shout out to Farrell's. That's the one I used to go to.
That is also a block away. I don't frequent that as much. I
All the way up
should.
there, yeah.
I should frequent that as much as Target.
I need to start working out again, especially because now there's a challenge now that I gave myself. When we were down in Atlanta for the Supernovas,
Okay.
where they swept the vibe. Shout out to the Supernovas, who are now first place in the Professional
Yes,
Volleyball
we will dive into that.
Federation. After their serve and pass, I was like, do you think how high do you think I can get on the net? So I went out to the net and they're like, I think you can get like eyes at the net. And I jumped up, got eyebrows to the top of the net.
Okay.
So the goal is to look over the net by the time the season
But
is over.
that doesn't, is that like a losing weight thing or just you're short?
It's a losing weight thing. Because
Okay.
I used to be able to
Jump.
dunk a volleyball.
Wow.
Yeah.
On a 10-foot.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
Rico.
Because the only reason I couldn't dunk a basketball is because I couldn't palm a basketball. I'm not
Okay.
ashamed to say it. Couldn't palm a basketball.
Well, I can't either.
And couldn't go up with two hands because you jump lower when you go up with two hands. So I couldn't get up there with two hands.
Interesting.
So I could dunk a volleyball, but So now the goal is to, lose a little bit of weight, get the springs back,
Get the springs back,
and look over the net by the time the season's over.
Okay. Well, I'm glad.
So I gotta get back out there.
My thing is I need to lose weight just for summer.
Yeah, that also makes sense.
So I mean, come on.
That also might be like a slight goal.
Yeah.
Remember when I was doing Hot Dad Summer? That never happened.
Never followed through with it.
That never happened.
Anyway, 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln hotline, the starter Heyman text line. Yeah, sun tea, a thing. Also another thing, the mint tea from the mill. Come get it if you need to. It's also like allergy season, and this is amazing for sinuses. Sinus clearing. Yeah, that was the issue this morning. It wasn't the voice. I mean, the voice a little bit, not too bad.
You sound better than I thought you would.
Yeah. Now next Monday,
yes,
might be a little dicey.
You're gonna be a little horse.
Well, that's all right.
You're gonna be a pony.
Yeah. So the mill. Come on down. 1040 O Street. Let's go ahead and just step aside after we talk about Sun Tea. Because we do want to talk Husker basketball. Husker basketball got a big win over Rutgers yesterday. Husker women's basketball, not so much. Do want to touch on just a little bit of Nebraska women's basketball's future, because as Jay and I and a couple other guys were sitting there courtside watching some of the talent in the state of Nebraska this last weekend, there was a lot of intriguing pieces, right? A lot of opportunities for Nebraska and Amy Williams to stay in state if they so desire, of players that would be, I think, qualified enough to play for Nebraska women's basketball. So definitely want to talk about the future because it is bright, just as bright as Nebraska men's basketball. Nebraska men's basketball in a really nice position for, guess what, a double bye. I brought that up.
Wait a minute.
I brought that up like a month and a half ago, I think, about the double bye. Like, let's just talk about how there's a chance that if Nebraska continues to win games, not thinking in my head, like, okay, yeah, people are going to call me crazy. I'm thinking to myself, Nick, you're a psycho.
What are you talking about?
But here we are, one game away from the regular season being over. And here's Nebraska. Nebraska is firmly in contention for a double bye, which is such an incredible turnaround over the last 3 years for Fred Hoiberg and company. Fred should be the Big Ten Coach of the Year.
He better be.
I think he deserves to be.
Shout out to the Big Ten West, by the way.
Shout out to the Big Ten West. Kevin McHale was in town.
Yeah.
And then in addition, in the final segment, as we cross things over with Austin, get ready for On the Block with Austin and Rico today, we're going to talk Husker baseball, because Husker baseball, yes, they're number one in the RPI right now. They have the number one strength of schedule in the country. All those things help, but the way that they're winning games is not necessarily the way they won games last year. And so we want to talk about the differences, as Nebraska is now a couple of games over 500. They have their opening series this week against South Alabama. And so just want to talk a little bit of those three sports when we return and throughout the rest of the show. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Happy Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through March 5th is fresh cut chuck roast for just $5.99 per pound and 29% off all soap and skincare products. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or at 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the enrollment fee. The next challenge begins on March 23rd. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see partly sunny skies. It will be breezy, though, but mild. We'll see a high around 61. Tonight, mainly clear skies and an overnight low around 30. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return. We'll see less wind, too, and an afternoon high around 60. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go. Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Life is all about balance, so how about a little sweet and a little heat to make your week? At Wings & Rings, we're introducing our all-new Hot Honey menu for the month of March. Try our one-of-a-kind house-made sauce on the brand-new Hot Honey Chicken Sandwich or our Hot Honey Shrimp and Slaw. And of course, you can get it on the traditional boneless or smoked wings that have made Wings & Rings your go-to neighborhood spot. But don't wait, Hot Honey is only here until April 1st. So stop by Wings & Rings at one of our 2 Lincoln locations today, on O Street and on Village Lane.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Herbie the Fourth ate his first solid food today, prompting a response of nothing but steaks all week for the Nebraska offensive line.
Then Enrique Alvarez Clary.
No more peaches and carrots for Herbie the Seventh. Baby food be damned.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Ooh. Nick Sandert and Rico with you. 464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys. How about those 21-9 Huskers? Woo. I think you're at this point now where you feel pretty firm and strong on Nebraska's chances to make the tournament. Yeah. Like I feel like I'll be honest, a couple weeks ago when we had conversations about this, probably about a month ago now, it was something along the lines, I think it was after Wisconsin, where it was like, all right, Nebraska, you've gotten the two big resume building wins, right? That you can really that stick out on your resume against Purdue and Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. But then it's now, okay, figure out a way to stay out of losing bad games, whether that would be to Rutgers yesterday or Northwestern at home or I don't know, Indiana on the road. Like, obviously the teams that are below the half-point line in the Big Ten Conference don't lose to those teams. Mm-hmm. And so part of that was the most nerve-wracking game for me, thinking and just having being realistic that, okay, Nebraska may lose to Indiana on the road, or they may lose one at home, right? Because yeah, you can say I feel pretty firm on Nebraska being able to win out at home,
19-1,
but 18-1. But hey, here's the deal: is that if there's one thing Nebraska fans know, it's don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't expect something to happen, because then it's probably not going to happen.
You never get too high on these Nebraska teams, because usually you get let down, especially
Nebraska basketball. And so, like, months ago when we were having these conversations about, okay, is NCAA tournament a real possibility now? It was like for me, it was, okay, don't lose to Michigan, right? Like that, what a bad taste that would leave in your mouth about the regular season if that's the one that leaves you out of the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. Now though, I mean, Nebraska in their last 6 are 5-1, and it's like Nebraska's now finished out the season
with some solid wins, not just wins,
like dominant wins,
with some wins that some resume boosting wins where you get the win and that helps, but the way that you're winning, it's the style points that mattered for Nebraska down the stretch. Yeah, they were getting those resume boosting wins and those big wins against the Purdue and against the Wisconsins. But as the season wore on, you're looking at it like, okay, those are good wins, and maybe those will get you into the tournament. You felt decent about Nebraska getting into the tournament, and then they would lose a game on the road, and you're like, oh well, I mean, that might kind of bump you out, or that might bump you to the bubble to maybe a play-in or something like that. But Nebraska, as they've gone along and this season has progressed, as they have realized that, you know, they are one of the top 4 teams, top 5 teams in the Big Ten Conference, and as they've played more along those lines, they've been able to maybe not blow teams out, but get, you know, double-digit wins or some pretty solid wins against the lower level competition in the Big Ten. And that's been able to boost their resume enough where, as you said, you're feeling really confident about Nebraska making it. And right now, it's not will they make it? It's what seed will they? Will they have a single-digit seed?
And this is why, like, Nebraska, understanding, like, okay, looking at history, right? And under Fred Hoiberg, even Nebraska teams have played pretty well towards the end of the season. In February is a month that's been good to Nebraska men's basketball the last couple of years. With a couple road wins at Wisconsin, with one at Ohio State a couple seasons ago, with a big one against Penn State a couple of seasons ago.
They went on that run. What was it, 2 years ago?
Exactly.
Or was it last year?
And that's what kind of like felt like it kind of sparked all of this, right? This program changing identity, if you will. So like Nebraska, here we go. So after they lose to Northwestern on the road, they lose to Illinois and they lose to Northwestern in back-to-back games. And looking at this here, Nebraska, I remember we had the conversations. Nebraska has 2, 4, 6, 7 games remaining going into Michigan. And it was like, okay, you feel really good if you're 5-2, or you feel okay if you're 5-2, but man, it would be nice to be 6-1 or 7-0. Well, Nebraska has a chance now to go 6-1. Mm-hmm. At worst, they're 5-2. You didn't lose a bad one on you stole one on the road by 15 points against Indiana. And I also think the fashion, like Rico said, does play a little bit of a factor into it, because if you watch that game, and just a reminder, committees, how it's explained to the general public, or I guess media as well, is that there are a couple of people on the committee that are in charge of each region. So there's a couple of people that are in charge of watching every single game that takes place in the Midwest. And basically every week they convene and they give updates, right? So that way it's not just, oh, they beat Indiana by 3 or, oh, they lost to Indiana by 3.
They'll look at it.
It plays a factor into it, right?
Yeah, they'll look at it, and even if you win by 3, if it looks like you were in control like the whole game, or if you win by like, let's say you were winning.
It's more
by
so
like,
for losses,
yeah.
right? Like the Nebraska-Illinois loss, right? Nebraska loses on the road to number 14 Illinois at the time in overtime. All right, that one probably gives Nebraska a little bit of style points, right? Even though it's a loss. Same with Northwestern. Same with Ohio State, honestly. Ohio State is now a quad 1 loss.
Ohio
so
State is on a tear.
That one doesn't hurt Nebraska. And yeah, as much as maybe we want to talk about the home cooking or that it was the refs issue, and the shot selection down the stretch wasn't very good. We didn't really get to talk much about the Ohio State-Nebraska game on Friday, obviously, because we were at PBA. But the shot selection down the stretch wasn't the greatest. You had, I wish I had the stats pulled up, but I mean, you had in the final half or something, it was like Keisei Tominaga was 0 for, Juwan Gary was 0 for, and Bryce Williams were 0 for. And in this game, Juwan Gary goes 0 for 6 from 3. Like, those are things that in NCAA tournament time, when it's win or go home, Nebraska can't have that happen. Nebraska, they can't get to where Juwan Gary is shooting 6 3-pointers. I get it that he was in that game against Ohio State, coming off of a game where he had beaten who was it before Ohio State? He had beaten Minnesota with a career high 4 3-pointers in that game against the Golden Gophers. But at some point, if you don't have it, you don't have it. And so, like, things like that still need to just get kind of gently fixed with a little wrench, just tighten it a little bit more. But going ahead now, Nebraska's put themselves in a position not only to have single-digit losses in a regular season, but also have a double bye in the Big Ten tournament,
which is massive.
I mean, because Rico, we agreed on this on the start of the season of the last 2 years. And they failed the mission last year. But this year, it was the same kind of expectation. Yeah, the NCAA tournament's great. The NIT's great. Figure out a way to get a bye in the Big Ten tournament.
At least one, because what you've been doing in the Big Ten tournament the past few years is getting no byes and winning 2 games.
Well,
then just running out of gas because you're having to play. Everybody's having to play, and you're going back-to-back days. And, for a few of those games, you're dealing with a ton of injuries, so everybody is playing every single minute, it seems like. But now, with the bye and with how deep your team is and how you're relatively healthy, now you'll be going into it, and everybody else will be in the same position you were in a few years ago, where they're playing back-to-back games, and all of a sudden they're coming in gassed, you're feeling fresh, and like you said, as the seasons have gone on for Nebraska and Fred Hoiberg, they get hot as the season comes to a close. They just run out of gas in the Big Ten tournament because, again, they're playing so many games in a row.
Yeah. So I think it's just kind of disappointing in previous years, because even if Nebraska will have a favorable matchup, like Rico said, in the first round, even if they were to win 2 in a row, which they haven't necessarily done, even if they were to win 2, it's like, okay, now you're still 2 games away from where you want to be.
Now you're facing one of the 4 best teams in the league, and you're 2 games deep.
Yeah, and you talk about back-to-back days, and you talk we see it in the state tournament at the high school level, and we see it obviously at the college level, right? And so Nebraska has now put themselves, even if they are a 5 seed, right? Let's talk worst case scenario, because Nebraska can finish anywhere between 3 and 5. So let's talk worst case scenario at 5 seed. If they lose to Michigan on Sunday, they're going to have almost a week practically a week and a half off, because you're going to have the girls tournament that happens. It's somewhere in the vicinity of like the 9th, or excuse me, it's not the 9th. It'd be like here's the calendar right here. It is the 13th through the 16th for the girls tournament. That means the men's tournament is the 20th through the 23rd. I can't remember if it goes until Sunday. Might go till Sunday. Either way, starts on the 20th. Okay.
4 games. So 4 days.
So 20th through the 23rd. So Nebraska would have an opportunity to that doesn't seem right, Rico.
Well, you have your first, and then they play the teams with the
single
quarterfinals. Then you play the teams with the double bye, and then you go into the championship.
But the teams with the double bye still have to win 2 games to be in the championship. So 5. So it's still Sunday.
Yeah.
Wednesday through Sunday. So the 20th through the 24th. Nebraska would not play until Friday, the 22nd, which means if you are a top 4 seed, Nebraska plays on the 10th. You have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 days of rest until you have to play. Instead, in previous years, that would have been 10, which is still a lot. But then if you make it to the Friday, you're playing with 2 games under your belt already in the last 2 days. And so even worst case scenario, just back it up a little bit, is you wouldn't play until the 21st, which is the Thursday. You would have 11 days off. And then from playing in the game, obviously. And you would play somebody that has already played a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing for Nebraska, is like, even if Nebraska were to play the 5 seed on Friday, which would in this case be Wisconsin would have a game under their belt already. And they're fragile as they are right now. It's a favorable matchup. So whether Nebraska is a 4, a 3, or even a 5 in the worst case scenario, they've done so much right now to put themselves in such an advantageous position, and one that is not very common for Nebraska basketball. I mean, this is a celebration right now. Now, obviously, they'll tell you there's a lot more left to accomplish, and I think that they make that clear. But man, isn't it fun to be a fan right now? Rutgers was packed last night. That place, PBA, was packed last night. It was a lot of fun.
I think Nebraska finished top 10 in attendance this week, I believe, if I remember the tweet correctly. The Big Ten tournament starts on the 14th and goes through the 17th.
So once again, I was incorrect. I'm sorry, I was incorrect on that. I was a week late. On the Big Ten boys men's tournament.
Okay, the 13th that starts that Wednesday with the first round matchup. Mm-hmm. So the 13th through the 17th. Yes. Then all the games conclude.
So either way, we can still have that conversation. You get a full week off.
Yeah, even then, it's still.
I apologize. That's on me. That's on me.
Days are hard. You've been.
It's okay.
All over the place.
It's okay. That's on me. But nonetheless,
it happens to the best of us.
Now we can talk Husker women's basketball though, because let's talk about Nebraska women's basketball's future. They fought Illinois yesterday by 1.
Unfortunately, that takes them out of the double bye.
So now they will play on Thursday this week.
Yep.
On the 7th. But the future, and the reason that I brought this up is Tom Stevens, one of our old coworkers, still current coworker, but don't see him as often.
We love that guy.
He was talking to me today about Allison Widener. And people are forgetting that Allison Widener is still on this roster and coming back next year.
Yes.
So
that's a big addition.
It's a huge one. So yeah, unfortunately, Nebraska's going to lose Jazz Shelley, a player that does so much for Nebraska. You lose Jazz Shelley, but on top of that, you return Alexis Markowski for 1 more season. You'll return a healthy Allison Widener. You bring in hopefully, as long as she can stay healthy too. You bring in a 5-star guard in Britt Prince, who was incredible this week.
She's amazing.
You return Natalie Potts, who's a 7-time Big Ten Freshman of the Week.
She's going to be the Big Ten Freshman
and the Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
It's going to happen.
You're going to return Logan Nisley, who has shown up in some big games.
Best shooter on the team, according to the coaches and the players.
And then you bring in a high 4-star guy or player in Amaya Hargrove.
I am so excited for Amaya.
High on Hargrove.
I am so excited for Hargrove. I mean, she scored 2,000 points in 2 seasons in high school. Like she's a beast.
So there you have it. Nebraska women's basketball, while they are going to lose, unfortunately, Annika Stewart, Maddie Kroll, and Jazz Shelley,
and Darian White,
as well as Darian White, they're going to be bringing in some really intriguing pieces, and then also returning some really big names.
Yes, and having a second year of Natalie Potts, having also, a second year of Logan Nisley is going to be huge. Having a second year of hold on, give me a second. Jessica Petrie.
Yeah.
Jessica Petrie is one of those players where you give it to her on the post. Her footwork is immaculate. You just let her go to work.
I think Nebraska women's basketball is in a really, really good spot right now on the floor. Because there's a little bit of momentum, I think, with the program too, in the correct direction. I think, but also future recruiting classes. We saw a couple of players this weekend. The Gessert twins from Millard West are certainly they're in conversations with Nebraska right now, obviously. And rightfully so. Amy Williams was in PBA for the last couple of days watching what was happening at PBA. And you also had Molly Ladwig from Omaha Skutt Catholic, who she dropped 17, then she had over 20 in the state championship game. I mean, baller. One of the most I enjoyed watching Molly Ladwig from Skutt more than any other player this week.
Really?
Even Britt Prince. And Britt had a triple-double on Friday. 21 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, 5 blocks, and 3 steals.
Britt was in fuego. Was it 261 in her
5 steals, 3 blocks.
261 points in her state tournament career.
Jeez.
4 straight state titles. Finished with what? 4 losses? Somewhere along there?
Yeah,
but just in like the regular in 4 years.
4 losses in 3 years. She's never lost in PBA.
Ridiculous.
It's incredible. She's incredible. And that whole entire Elkhorn North team, it was really fun. Like Reese Booth is like 5'9", one of the best rebounders on that team. She was really good. Reagan Palmer plays a really big piece down there. Sydney Stoddard does as well.
What's the outlook for them next season?
Well, so you're gonna lose. You return. You lose Britt and Reese and Sydney Stoddard and McKenna Murphy. So you're gonna lose a big piece.
It's a lot.
I said it this morning. I'll say it here. I honestly kept coming into that Class B game on Saturday. I thought Omaha Skutt was going to beat them.
Really?
I did.
They're playing well.
Elkhorn North just wasn't shooting the way we're accustomed to seeing Elkhorn North shoot. And
they missed like 6 shots in a row.
It was. And they were trailing at the end of the third quarter just because Omaha Skutt moves the ball better than I've ever seen a high school team move.
Really?
And Jay said the same thing. And so their ball movements and just like, here's the thing, Rico, like people forget how productive like a simple pass fake can be. Skutt does that. Skutt does all of those little things. The shot fakes, the pass fakes, just everything. Molly Ladwig is one of the best dribblers up the floor with her head up.
Yeah.
Like that I've seen. It's just they're fun to watch, man. And that's coming from somebody that their rival in high school was Skutt. So it takes me a lot.
Careful now.
It takes a lot to say some good things.
But nonetheless, some nice things about Skutt from time to time.
Let's take a break. Go ahead.
Quick shout out.
Yes.
To Class C2 Niobrara Verdigris.
Yes, they made it.
Shout out to my sister-in-law, Casey Schott. But the shout out really, Jocelyn Miller of Niobrara Verdigris scored her 2,000th point in high school in their first round game.
2,000 points.
2,000th point out at the Bob. So shout out to Jocelyn Miller and Niobrara Verdigris for making it to state and for her scoring 2,000 plus points in her high school career.
Niobrara Verdigris fell to Crofton.
The eventual state champion.
No, UTAN. UTAN was good.
UTAN was on fire.
UTAN was very good. Yeah,
they were blowing everybody out. It happens.
Is that what the Dollivers? No. That's I'm thinking about somebody else. Never mind. No, C2. Or I'm thinking D1. Dolliver is on Pender.
Okay.
Dolliver is on Pender.
Pender back to back, right?
Really, Pender won back to back. Pender won in C2 last year, now won in D1 this year.
Oh.
So
they
went down.
Okay.
They went down. Yeah. So congrats. Let me see if I can name all 6 of them here. Congrats to Millard West.
That was a game.
That was an incredible game between Millard West knocked off Bellevue West. Congrats to Elkhorn North over Omaha Skutt. Congrats to Scott Klein and Lincoln Christian with their win over the Sydney Lady Raiders in C1. Congrats to UTAN with their victory over Crofton in C2. Congrats to Pender and their victory over Southern Valley in D1. And then congrats to Overton in their victory in D2 over, it was the last game of the day.
Come on.
Overton against the Why Not Blue Devils.
There you go.
Why Not fell for the second year in a row. They're runner-up in D2.
Have you seen Why Not's bus?
Have not.
They have a team bus with their logo on the side of it.
Is it pretty cool?
KJ thought it was Megamind.
It's a Blue Devil, KJ. It's a Blue Devil. So that's again. All right, we wrapped the bow. It's on it. Girls State Tournament. Boys starts on Wednesday. And there's a lot of Husker tomorrow. We're going to talk Husker commits or recruits in this week's state tournament.
Beautiful.
Because there's a lot. There's a lot of like Carter Nelson's playing. I think he's on day one as well. I think he's actually in our first game potentially.
How many dunks?
Ooh.
If I put the over under at
2.5,
I was going to say 1.5.
Over. I think it's 2.
So 2.5.
Under.
Okay.
Right at 2. So Carter Nelson's there. Donovan Jones from Omaha North is playing up against Omaha Central. Omaha Central has a wide receiver who's playing Deshaun Prince. You have obviously Caleb Benning at Westside. Westside faces off against Southeast on Wednesday night at 7:45 p.m. That's going to be a fun one out to close out the night. There's a lot of Pierce Newberry from Millard North is playing on Wednesday in Class A.
McMorris on Bellevue West.
McMorris on Bellevue West. So there's a lot. There's a lot of future Huskers and potential Huskers coming up this week in the state basketball tournament. All right, let's close it out with the crossover as Austin, Rico, and I talk about Husker baseball. We'll do that next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Life is all about balance, so how about a little sweet and a little heat to make your week? At Wings and Rings, we're introducing our all-new Hot Honey menu for the month of March. Try our one-of-a-kind house-made sauce on the brand-new Hot Honey chicken sandwich or our Hot Honey shrimp and slaw. And of course, you can get it on the traditional boneless or smoked wings that have made Wings and Rings your go-to neighborhood spot. But don't wait, Hot Honey is only here until April 1st. So stop by Wings and Rings at one of our 2 Lincoln locations today, on O Street and on Village Lane.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Landmark Implement is your local authorized John Deere dealer. Landmark's trained and certified sales staff will help you find the right equipment for your needs at a price that's right for you, all backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network. Whether it's a tractor, planter, combine, an easy track lawnmower, or gator, every piece of equipment in pre-owned inventory is put through a rigorous inspection so it's ready to work hard for you. Landmark's team works together to make sure everything is sold meets their quality standards. Learn more at landmarkimp.com or stop into a local Landmark location and experience the Landmark difference.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. Liberty Law Group is here to do the heavy lifting for you. We believe in treating every client with respect and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, Trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and Air Park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
When I gave you the cookie, I heard very clearly, I don't think about you, Schmidt.
Why would I think about you?
Because we're friends. We're not animals.
We're men. The only time a man is allowed to think about another man is when that man is Jay Cutler.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick, Rico, and now Austin Orman with you. What's up, Austin?
Oh, not much. How we doing, fellas?
I'm doing well. Austin.
Nick.
How about Husker baseball?
Rico.
oh, there you are. Hi, Rico.
Hi, guys.
What a weekend.
We said hello to you.
Not right there, you did.
Oh, okay. Austin,
you guys
Austin, Rico, Austin.
There we go.
Okay,
Pleasure
cool.
to meet you.
All
Nice.
right, there you go.
Never seen
What a weekend for Husker baseball.
What a weekend for Husker baseball.
Not always clean, not always pretty, but definitely gritty, right? Talk about taking advantage of mistakes. I mean, the comeback wins were huge. I mean, you get the spark from Tyler Stone in one of those games. The pitching did enough, not pretty early on, but that's where I think Nebraska, with the depth of options it has on the mound, will be able to just outlast a lot of teams. It was good to see them, continue to fight, even when I think it was game 2 on Saturday. They went like 3.5, 4 innings without a base runner, like the 5th till the 9th inning. And then they finally capitalized in the 9th. And then 2 throwing errors from College of Charleston. That's where baseball, to me, will always be best, when you're putting the ball in play and making other teams make a play. At the high school level, they goof up. At the college level, they goof up. In the pros, less, but it still happens. So put the ball in play, see what happens. If that's the mantra and that's the ethos, that's huge. I mean, it's probably a bummer you got one game canceled, but to come away with a sweep against a, potential regional team on the road, and you come home with a lot of momentum, huge weekend.
Well, in College Charleston was 7-0 when Nebraska came into basically, Charleston. So
that is where Charleston's located. Correct.
He said, "Wait a minute, where are they?" I had to think about it. So, but nonetheless,
College of Charleston in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah,
hey, that's where Duke's headed tonight.
So now Nebraska is 7-3 on the season, with those 3 losses coming to Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and then GCU. I would say this also. One important thing to note is understand the fashion that they're winning all these games in, right? As Austin said, yeah, you're forcing teams to make a play. I would think also, though, in addition, how about after, when you got to close it out in the bottom half of an inning, when you need a shutdown inning, Nebraska was able to get some outs. And that's been a bugaboo for Nebraska. And the pitching has not been good. And the starting pitching wasn't great on Sunday. There were a lot of just hard hit balls all over the place for Nebraska and Charleston yesterday. But Nebraska, I got to give KP credit here. Kyle Perry comes in the bottom of the ninth, and the insurance run was huge. Yeah, the insurance run was huge. But KP comes in after they allowed Tucker Timmerman to come trot out there in the ninth. The runners were on first and second with one out, and KP gets them both. And Nebraska didn't have that this last year. They didn't have it from KP even last year. And so to see that early through the first 10 games, Nebraska has a little bit better pitching than maybe I thought that they were going to have coming into this game. Tucker Timmerman's been a bright spot. He's got either tied or leads the team in appearances this year. A freshman from Beatrice. There's a lot of new names and new arms that you're going to have to get to know while at Haymarket Park over the next couple of months, just because there's
starting Friday.
Yeah,
they're home.
There's a lot of transfers and stuff. But I will say, you have Riley Silva also, who on the base paths, 8 for 8 stealing this year. So
went 2 for 2 and reached base 5 times.
Exactly. Had a great weekend.
Math.
There was a point on Sunday where he was 5 for 10 at some point throughout the entire weekend. So when you can have that, not from necessarily your leadoff, but Peyton Silva was hitting second. Riley Silva. I'm thinking Peyton Silva.
Yeah.
Peyton Silva.
Classic Louisville.
Peyton
Silva is not a national champion, by the way.
No. Hitting second, Riley Silva. If he can go 500, hey, that sets the table for your 3, 4, 5 guys. And we know what Dylan Carey is capable of, and we know guys like Gabe Swanson, even Anglem at times, is capable of. So Nebraska, there's a lot of bright spots. Nebraska, as Austin just mentioned, comes home this weekend, starts a 3-game set against South Alabama this Friday at 4:05 p.m. It's an afternoon tip on Friday.
Looks like I'm taking off.
I know.
See you
looks
guys.
like you got to do something. So no, it's a 4:05.
Have fun state basketball.
4:05 first pitch on Friday.
You can run the board from your laptop, right?
Something like that. And then on Saturday, 2:05, and on Sunday, 12:05. I think I'm making it out there for the noon game on Sunday. I think I'm going to make my way out there, but
I'll be on a plane.
That's the biggest thing. What I took away from this week is Nebraska's now winning games this year. Yeah, there's the 11-1 game, but they're winning games by 2 runs, by 1 run, by another 1 run, by 2 runs. They're shutting down teams, and that wasn't what happened last year.
Because we have to check 30% chance of rain on Thursday, 50% chance of rain on Friday, 49 and clear on Saturday, 56 and clear on Sunday. So that's the day to go.
It's going to be a little chilly for a baseball game, but I'll bring the blankets. We'll be good.
You'll be good.
Back in the 70s on Wednesday, though.
Just sit out on the berm.
Wait. Wednesday.
Sick berm.
Wednesday they go to Wichita State.
Mike Sirianni Revenge Series.
Sirianni Revenge Series. You got the 2-game set against Wichita State on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. That'll be real interesting because I'm fascinated.
They drive back between games.
I'm fascinated to see who starts on the mound for those midweek games.
Christo.
For one of them.
Who's the other
but
one?
who's the next one?
Austin Norman.
Brockett?
Maybe. That's my thing. Is like
or here's the other thing to keep in mind.
You go bullpen?
Caleb Clark didn't get his start. So unless you're gonna save him for Sunday.
Yeah, but it feels like
I guess after that weekend series, he will have started. It
feels like their weekend series is kind of solidified.
How long do you give Caleb Clark? Another start? Another 2?
I would give him at least 2 home starts.
What'd you give Christo?
I don't know. Christo's been having an okay year. His velocity's been where you need it to be. The control's been a little bit better with Christo. He also played the first week when he played. It was a good outing his first time out.
Mm-hmm. He's gone 6 innings each of the last 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. 6 innings. I think it was 4 Ks last time, 0 walks. That's the big piece. Just don't
not giving away free bases.
Allow your defense to work.
There are some similarities. This is not a 1-to-1 comparison. I'm not saying they're the same player.
Too late.
But yeah, sorry. Let me backtrack. I see some similarities between Drew Christo and Colby Gomez.
Yeah, minus the injuries.
Right. Big dude, throw hard.
Had a lot of excitement.
Probably should have missed more bats than they did. If they get hit, that ball is going a long ways, just because of how
Leaves
hard
them
they
up in
throw.
some bad spots
Yeah.
too. I would see that. Okay, so I'm trying to think of Christo's certainly your first midweek starter. I mean, but that's the thing is like, here's this: who's your Saturday guy? If Caleb Clark's
like
not your
a
guy,
Brooks Kneifel or like a Ryan Harahill.
Yeah, Harahill's interesting for me. I don't know. Clevenger looked good.
He did.
Clevenger
He's a two-lane
well.
guy.
He is a two-lane guy. You're right.
I need to relearn this roster.
There's a lot of.
It's not relearn. It's not relearn.
Like
It's learn.
I thought I knew the roster, and then you guys are throwing these names out, and I go, "Who is that?"
He's not real.
Yeah,
that pitcher is not real.
Exactly. That's me right now. I'm like, who are these people?
Casey Dice is the closer. Right. Tucker Timmerman.
Who's the dude from Brown?
Guy. Oh, is that McConaughey? No. McConaughey's from Cloud
shorter
County.
name.
Brown. Bobby Olson.
A guy like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that would be more. That would be more. I could see it. Graduate guy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe can get you 5.
Which we weren't going to talk about this during the show, so I didn't bring this up. Speaking of graduate guys, CJ Welcher walking. Do we think he pulled a K-Save from last year? Because I think he's grad transferring. He's either that or done with college basketball.
Okay, so that's my thing is I see it as him moving on.
Me too.
I also, this is going to make some.
I don't.
We're starting to get into this conversation now, and I'm not trying to like bring out false narratives because that's not what I'm trying to do, or like create a story out of nothing. I also wouldn't be surprised if like Juwan Gary sees what he can do in the portal.
I don't know about portal. I would say enters
like,
his name to see where he's at, to see what he needs to work on.
I don't think it's that.
No, he's not gonna go. I'm just saying he enters his name to see what they think.
You have to think about like suspension this year. You have to think about, okay, what kind of bodies are on the roster next year. That's why maybe I could see CJ transferring as well. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to like bring this, but that's something that's I think a little sneaky.
I think CJ has done enough this year and has seen his stock turn around in Lincoln enough where he right now is walking, because it's one of those things where you're testing the waters. You're just like, okay, I don't know. I've been in college for 5 years.
Yep.
Maybe I want to be done. But
also,
this
has been one of his better years too.
Mm-hmm.
But also like I might want to come back. But if he decides not to come back and he didn't walk, like it'd be one of those things where, okay, let's do this, but I can come back next year. So he goes, he maybe test the waters, just see what he needs. Again, it's one of those things where you see like what Casey did last year. You see what you need to work on, then you come back, you work on those things, or you just decide that you're going to come back for another year. I think CJ's done enough and had a good enough year this year where he can test the waters. I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to enter his name into the NBA draft, and I don't think he's going to transfer. I just think right now he just wanted to, in case he doesn't want to come back after this season and just be done with basketball or enter his name, he wanted to walk to have that experience.
Like, I got a big sense of finality from watching his video in the way he approached it. And I'm still trying to figure out if that's a sense of finality with Nebraska or for his basketball playing days. Because what I could see, what my gut is telling me, is that he's going to go play with his brother somewhere. And it's not going to be St. John's. I don't think he's a Patino guy.
No,
in terms of style of play. So it wouldn't shock me if we see Simeon transfer as well. Again, this is not talking to CJ. This is just speculation, but he sounds like he's done at Nebraska. That's my read on things. Could he come back? Yes. Would he have a role to play next year? Yes.
Seeing CJ's father
react
the way he did. It was a lot of finality. The reason here's the thing, like the reason I brought up Juwan is because he's had a really productive year, a really efficient year. I feel like with Juwan too at times. He's done things, I think, for Nebraska. He plays a pretty big role for Nebraska. And Byron the Hog Farmer says this: they won't leave, at least unless it's a blue blood. I'm guessing what they said. Byron says they get paid well here and can be a special team. While Nebraska's having a 21-9 season right now, guys like that might be able to still make a jump up. Like I look at Juwan and I go, would there be a place like Iowa State for Juwan?
See,
as a role guy,
or
a Marquette. Like I'm just throwing out some like top 15 program names. The reason I'm doing that is because while Nebraska's having a 21-9 year, their category of a special year for Nebraska is much different. And I know you know this, Byron. I'm preaching to the choir here. As Nebraska people that cover it, Nebraska's definition of a special year is different than a Marquette special year.
This is a
or a
down year for
Michigan
them.
State Marquette special year.
Kansas has like the same record, and it's a terrible year for them.
We have to think about that and keep that in mind now in this day and age of college athletics. Of like, yeah, it's great if Juwan and this core can win Nebraska a tournament game, but maybe their definition of a special year and a special team, it can be true for both Nebraska, but then it can also be true for a Marquette. And I'm just throwing Marquette out there.
Because you're a fanboy.
We
went over that last week.
Big Marquette guy.
I don't want to speculate on Juwan specifically. I probably will here just in my ramblings here in a second. But there's probably going to be a surprise transfer from the roster. There is in this day and age of college basketball. If Nebraska can avoid that and bring the starting five back, I think you're in a really good spot. But also don't fall into that Carolina 2 years ago trap where you bring everyone back, your preseason number one, and you fall flat on your face. Not saying this group has the same makeup or locker room dynamics that were reportedly going on behind the scenes
Nebraska
with the
preseason
two
number one
starting guards at Carolina. So, I don't really want to speculate on who the surprise transfer could be, not, knowing anything being connected.
Exactly.
I think Juwan would fit it like a Tennessee. I could really see him there. But here's the other question then. Would you rather keep Juwan Gary for another year or Eli Rice?
Well, and that's where I think Eli Rice comes into like with a CJ Wilcher and why maybe the grad transfer route would be interesting with CJ. Because once again, looking at the roster construction, okay, so you're going to bring in a guy in Nick Janowski who's over 6'2" and can shoot and defend decently well, can shoot extremely well.
Is a bucket.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have what you expect to be a healthy Eli Rice, which is an athletic guard forward type of mix.
I think CJ is probably 2 size, but is probably best foot speed wise of the 3. I think Eli Rice is probably 3 size, but has the game of a 2 right now.
Exactly. So I mean, you look at that, and then you also can look. You're bringing in a guard in Braden Frager, who don't forget, like we're used to. Here's
probably
the
not
thing,
going to play him.
Here's the thing, though, Austin. This is what I was going to get at because I'm with you on that right away. We can't forget that they used a scholarship on him.
Yeah.
So they see something.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're accustomed to Elkhorn South or
Johnny Trueblood.
Yeah, like from guys from Lincoln or even like smaller towns.
You're once in the Summit League Conference.
Yeah. Like you're used to these guys from close being walk-ons. Well, we got to remember that they utilized a scholarship on Braden Frager as a guard. And so they see something in Frager, and they also allowed him to reclassify.
Yeah.
So they see something in Braden Frager that maybe we obviously don't. And that's not like a knock against, we just don't do the film study that they do. And don't have the basketball IQ.
And
maybe
we're
Fred
also
Woodward
speak
does.
for yourself.
We're also not
Yeah, exactly.
That's the Duke basketball shooting coach right there.
So I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Like, once again, this is all speculation. But as you mentioned, like the surprise transfer, like I've gone through that list of like, so it's like go through the list of like, I think Jamarcus really can do really some big things here, and he's still got a couple of years left. I think like Rink doesn't feel like he would be the one.
Rink is the one I'm watching.
That would be.
I think Rink is in the Casey boat.
That one honestly that would make a lot more sense.
I don't think Rink transfers. I think he's weighing some international waters.
International. I think so too.
I think he could go another year and get international. But my thing with Juwan Gary is, do you really want to start over again?
Look what that did with Casey, though. Is Casey's stock higher or lower than it was last year?
I don't know how high or low it was
NBA-wise. Let's talk about NBA-wise.
I don't know how high or low it was NBA-wise to begin with.
Hasn't moved.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think they know what he has offensively. I think it was defensively and ball handling wise, NBA-wise, just because of his size and everything. So, and I don't think the needle moved at all on that. So,
yeah.
But with Juwan, do you really, if you're him, do you want to start all over again? Like you transferred from Alabama to Nebraska.
That's why.
And then you got hurt. And you missed almost all of last season.
Got suspended.
So then you start this season. You got suspended for the beginning of the season. And as the season has gone on, you finally found your footing. Do you want to start all over somewhere else?
The only way he does that is if he moves closer to home.
Where's he from?
He's from Columbia, South Carolina. So if Lamont Paris stays, could he have a homecoming Could he go be a piece at Tennessee? Bruce Pearl take him at Auburn. I see some fits there. I don't think he's a Florida guy. I can honestly see him being like a Leonard Hamilton guy.
Florida State. Yeah. I mean,
but again, I don't want to. We're not trying to speak this into existence. We're just saying hypothetically.
Folk hero now.
It would be great if Nebraska could keep the core. I think it's also like we're getting to that point now where we can start to have those conversations of like, okay, it was senior day, who walked, who didn't walk, but also who are some maybe surprised. I also think Nebraska's going to go into the portal again.
Oh yeah,
I think
you're
Nebraska's.
losing
I
three
think
seniors.
It's going to be.
You're bringing in two people. So
I don't believe Nebraska's long-term point guard solution is Aaron Eulis.
I don't believe Nebraska's short-term point guard solution was supposed to be Aaron Eulis, but that's not my call.
So that's my thing. Is like, here's the deal. Well, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went into that stuff.
Anyway,
but so I mean, like, remember, don't forget, like, the way that, yes, Fred has talked high about Aaron Eulis, and I'm sure he's done things while on the sideline that are helpful. But maybe. Nebraska, let's be real here. Nebraska's 21-9. They're a 4 seed in the Big Ten tournament, potentially. They should be able to attract a quality Big Ten caliber point guard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if that means Aaron Eulis isn't the guy, then that means Aaron Eulis isn't the guy. I'm going to side with Austin on this one. I'm not sure that he was number 1 on their board. I actually know for a fact he probably wasn't number 1 on their board. And so, once again, let's see, somebody said it. Cole, I'd argue that this year brings intrigue to people transferring in as well. That's my point. That's exactly the thing I was going to kind of talk about here, Cole. Is now there's some mid-major guys looking at Bryce and looking at Rink and going, okay, now hold up. Nebraska, good resources, good facility, great fan base.
On the rise.
Fred Hoiberg is safe. There's a little bit of stability there. There's a chance. And they have recent success. Yeah. Right? It's this year and after this year, I should say, when Nebraska goes to the portal, it's not anymore of this is what we want to be. That's like the biggest thing that I feel like Fred and his staff have in their back pocket now.
This is who we are.
It's no more, this is what we're working to get to. It is now, this is what we are. And that's such a not necessarily advantage, because most really good basketball programs have that. They're able to point to that. Nebraska has kind of always been behind the 8 ball because they've always been the one to say, this is where we want to get to. And then they've struck out on guys, understandably so, because they haven't been able to get there.
The style that they wanted to play just didn't work out. Now they finally found it.
All right, what's coming up on the block today?
Should be a good one. We'll keep talking some Husker hoops, men, and the women miss out on the 4 seed. Tough one on the road in Champaign yesterday.
Potts got 8th
humbug
freshman of the week.
Of course you did.
8th for Natalie Potts.
So yeah, we'll talk about that. Victor Wembanyama is an alien. Like, we knew he was going to be good.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely nuts. We'll talk about that. Some big coordinator hires in college football.
That's right.
Talk about that with Jay Foreman, probably some Husker groups with him.
So Oprah Winfrey on the text line says, how about Sam as the future guard? What I would say about anything with Nebraska basketball, don't try to ask them to be something that they're not, right? Sam's got a really, really productive role right now that fits his style of play. You don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with it. All right, let's take a break. On the block with on the block with Austin and Rico coming up next.
Adios.
Hog Wild's giant sub baked potatoes are anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Nothing is more satisfying than a Hog Wild baked potato loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and chives. Add your choice of a Hog Wild house smoked meat like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see partly sunny skies. It will be breezy, though, but mild. We'll see a high around 61. Tonight, mainly clear skies and an overnight low around 30. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return. We'll see less wind, too, and an afternoon high around 60. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running.